Fubo's a stock that, obviously it doesn't get talked about that much. It's a smaller cap company. A lot of our time and attention is really spent on a lot of the bigger companies, right? The Metas and the Teslas and everything that's happening with all the big dogs all the time, Apple, Nvidia. That takes up a lot of our time and attention, right? But there's a stock like Fubo here that is absolutely in one of the best positions you could possibly be in for this next, let's call it few years here. And they're a stock that went through some very tough times coming out of the, we can call it the late 2020 into early 2021 bubble we had in the market, right? And that was when just a lot of stocks got obviously slaughtered. A lot of companies are never coming back to those sorts of prices. But you have an interesting company here, Fubo, that's made it through everything, that has, despite everything that's gone on with stock prices and everybody leaving growth stocks and those sorts of things and everything that happened there, Fubo's numbers have just been getting better and better and better and better, which is intriguing because it's very different than so many of the other companies where things just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse, right? And some have gone bankrupt, obviously, others have not. But when it comes to Fubo, everything with the company is just getting better and better and better. And here we have a stock price that's $3 here today. And spoiler alert, if you're wondering, is the stock about to do its next 2x? The answer to that is yes, it is about to do its next 2x and a whole lot more than that. And I'm going to take you through it. So appreciate you guys joining me as always. Thanks so much for being here, folks. Got a lot to go through in this video here today. By the way, that performance, 120% in the past 6 months. That's with the Dow up about 8% in the past 6 months and the S&P 500 up low double digits in the past 6 months. So obviously just extraordinary outperformance here. So where I want to start is with recent Google Trends data. This is just the past 7 days. Google Trends data, so this is like most recent. Yesterday, we just saw by far and away the highest level of interest in Fubo. Yesterday, huge college football day, obviously. Today's NFL. Don't be surprised if we see another huge spike up, and especially with Monday Night Football coming tomorrow and with the whole charter stuff going on. 14 million customers or so can't even get ESPN Monday Night Football. There's a massive game tomorrow, Bills and Jets. So don't be surprised if Fubo's Google Trends goes crazy tomorrow as well. So going to be very intriguing in the short term here. Now, this is past 30 days in regards to Fubo. It doesn't have the most recent numbers up here, but you're going to, this was last weekend. We didn't even have NFL football last weekend, right? This was, really more like college football and things like that. And so we saw a major spike up even then. Yeah, I can't wait till these next numbers come out, right? This is last weekend's numbers. We saw in the past 90 days, obviously, by far and away, the biggest interest spike we've seen in Fubo. I can't wait to see this weekend. This weekend, you have U.S. Open finals, right? You had women's yesterday. You have men's today. You have a huge college football weekend with the biggest game so far in the early season yesterday, which was Texas-Alabama. So they don't have the most recent numbers up. And then you got NFL kickoff this weekend. Like this weekend's going to likely blow away last weekend, which last weekend was the best weekend by far we've had in the past 90 days. I can't wait to see the numbers, right? Now, this is for the past 12 months. This doesn't have the most recent data. My guess is we're probably above 75. I don't think this weekend will be as good as this weekend here, which was in November. That's usually when you see the biggest spike up, is kind of around November for Fubo. So we'll see how it all trades out. But this weekend's got to be crazy for how many customers Fubo is attracting this specific weekend. Okay. Now, if we look at 2004 through present, which is Google just backing Google Trends all the way up, right? Basically, Google is projecting here that Fubo is going to have the biggest interest in its history in the month of September in general. I wouldn't be surprised if that's accurate, to be honest. We'll see how good Google's AI is. We'll see. But yeah, they're projecting the biggest September ever. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we'll see. But I would not be surprised at all. Now, do keep in mind, YouTube TV is also expected to have its biggest September ever in history. So it's not like Fubo's the only one benefiting. There's a few players in streaming. I always look at YouTube TV as the biggest competitive threat to Fubo long term. I don't think Fubo's ever going to beat YouTube TV. And let's be very clear, Fubo doesn't ever have to beat YouTube TV. Fubo can be the number 2 or number 3 player in this market, and their opportunity is absolutely extraordinary over time, right? Now, a lot of people ask me, what about Hulu? I heard they have live sports now and some of the other services. Yeah, all those guys I'm sure are competitive threats to a certain extent, but really there's one company that I think is a major competitive threat, and it's YouTube TV in this particular space. I think that the other ones have a lot of trouble with branding in the past and things they used to do, whereas Fubo is just very simple. You're a sports fan, you sign up for Fubo. You're a sports fan, you sign up for Fubo. It's always had the most assortment you can possibly imagine, and it's always had features that are just phenomenal, like multi-view and things like that. Okay, hedge play. Okay, and that is Polaris. I've got some put options on Polaris that are going to expire at basically the end of 2024. They expire December 20th, 2024. This is a hedge. So a hedge meaning essentially protection from our portfolio. So the way I always, think about this is what happens if the stock market goes down? What happens if we have a crash? What happens if we have a major recession, right? I need to have protection in case any of those downside scenarios happen. And a little hedging can go a long way if done properly in the market, in case you do have some sort of tanking stock situation, right? Polaris is a company that I think is a perfect hedge. This is a company that's already starting to be hit by interest rates, right? Obviously, when it comes to loans, it's gotten much more expensive. And a lot of people buy these off-road vehicles and the snowmobiles and all the different stuff they sell on loans, right? You're not going to usually pay $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 cash for these. A lot of people buy them on loans. So they're already kind of being negatively affected by what the Federal Reserve has done, obviously. But the other way I kind of think about this is if we have any sort of major recession where unemployment goes up in a major way and the masses get very concerned about their financial matters, they're not going to be selling units, man. They're not going to be selling units. The only reason this company's put up such amazing numbers over the past few years is because we had all the stimulus money. People felt pretty good about their financial futures for a while there. But a lot of that's changed, obviously, very recently, right? And we're at a situation where, employment doesn't get better than this. We're at 3% something, unemployment rate. It doesn't get better. So at the end of the day, when it comes to employment picture, it only stays the same or it gets worse. That's all that happens. And so if we also go to 4%, 5%, 6%, 7% unemployment, Polaris's business model is going to get hit in a major way. What the heck was that flew on me? It's going to get hit in a major way. I don't know what kind of bug that was, man. What are you trying to do, get in my mouth, man? But anyways, Polaris. That's one of my hedge plays overall, okay? If you're going through a real estate crisis, this takes years. It takes years to work out of that. It doesn't magically happen in a few months, okay? So the fact that people thought, the Chinese real estate market is going to be magically fixed this year is just like you haven't done any studies of history. Like, this stuff takes a while, man. We saw this in the United States in the great financial crisis. I mean, it took years to finally bottom the market, and it took several years to finally get confidence back into the market, right? So you could be talking about up to a 5-year process. It doesn't happen overnight in regards to getting, after you've gone through some sort of crisis like that in the real estate market.